The heroics of FaZe might be coming down to a slow, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't try to find their way into this playoff. In fact, we have a banger of a matchup to kick it all off here on the last match day of this Season 8 regular season. It's going to be Heroic and FaZe squaring off over 2 maps, but more importantly, the road to Odense is getting more and more narrow. And with that, of course, we're getting more and more and more in depth of who's going on to the playoffs there in that small little city of Odense, the center for technology in the Nordic region. And well, I guess without any further ado, let's get this show underway. Get your ass over here. The Intel Esports Arena has been the heartbeat of what is ESL Pro League Season 8. And of course, a little bit of the drummers here would have to be Chad, Sponge Flanagan, Spud Flanagan. Yeah, all relative, of course. Birchill, thank you for joining me this evening and every evening there of this broadcast. Chad, how are you feeling in this last match day?
Let's get ready to rumble! Dun, 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 dun.
Why are you, yeah, I mean, I guess
Just me? Not you?
No, I mean, it like makes sense. I just didn't know we were like putting together a Jock
We've
Jams
had 14
episode.
days. Today's the 15th day. There will be the culmination. There'll be 26 matches after today have been played in total. Lots of back and forth Counter-Strike. Everybody's played each other twice in best of 1 scenarios. But today, Trace, as per usual, some teams have really failed to lock in their fate. And that's what we need to get decided.
That's damn right. We do have some boo-boo faces across the board, and perhaps we can take a look at the schedule. Excuse me, the standings, not the schedule. I don't know what I was thinking there in that moment.
I'm great at standing, Trace.
All right, yes, we are standing. Just like Astralis, Navi, Big North are standing tall at the end of this regular season. Now, what about the rest of the pack?
You know what's crazy? North didn't even have to play a game yesterday, and they're still qualified. So that's how the other results can affect your performance or your position within the top 7. And that's what we're looking for. 7, the top 7 teams to make it to the finals in Odense towards the middle of December. Now, where you don't want to be is that danger zone down the bottom in 12th, 13th, and 14th place. Now, coming into today, there are so many variables, so many different options, so many different chances for teams to either make that top 7 or drop on down to that bottom 3.
Chad, look at the bottom 3. Fnatic, Heroic, albeit not a team known for their flashiness and wins and, you know, really culminating in any sort of trophy lifting moments. But Fnatic at least has been on a good tear. Why is it that they're struggling here?
Because they started slow. That's the problem. NIP started slow. These are teams who, you know, probably should be within the top 7 when you're just seeding them via the ranking. But the thing with Pro League is every game matters. You have to make sure you're converting the victories, and you need to be getting the wins against the teams who you are favored against. If you're coming back from, you know, a tournament and you're dropping games, you're not winning when you should be, you're losing online because, you know, maybe you're not taking online as seriously, or maybe the realms of online Counter-Strike is more of a darker, deeper path than you maybe thought was possible. You're going to find yourself not making the finals, not in Pro League, and not in Odense. Now, that's a bit of an issue.
Yep, you're definitely not going to be joining us in Odense, a rather lovely city, where in which I can guarantee you some of these players have used MSI laptops and products to get themselves to this position. And, well, you can probably use one of those, too, on the road to Odense. In fact, Chad, why is Odense just the capital of technology in the Nordic region?
I'm not a cyborg, so I can't really answer that one.
You weren't assembled in Odense last year?
I was put back together. Actually, I fell apart there, and then maybe I came back together. So maybe I am.
Okay. Well, if you were a cyborg, what technology would you be running on?
Probably an MSI laptop.
Nailed it. That's right. Head over to msi.com/2/best offer and go ahead and grab yourself one of these bad boys right here as I caress this for a good reason. It's very soft on the outside, but very rugged in terms of viability. But let's talk about the schedule, Chad, because we got a day full of matches, some of which we won't be taking a look at, but you know what? All of them are just as important.
So the reason we have the featured matchups of Heroic and FaZe, and then over on that secondary stream, G2 and Hellraisers, is those are the matches that have the most influence on that top 7. Right now, we're in a position, and this is from Mihao, from League Ops of ESL fame.
Shout
He
out.
has said that with the last day of ESL Pro League Season 8 matches, there's still a lot on the line. G2, Mouse Sports, Hellraiser, Space Soldiers, FaZe, and Windigo will fight for the last 3 spots in EU, while over during that North American broadcast, there's a handful of teams as well who'll be fighting for positions within that top 7 or top 6 for the North American region.
Then inversely, you can see Fnatic still on the board here with matches. I mean, we just saw where they're sitting, so obviously they're trying to stay out of that bottom 3.
And another tweet from the same man.
Big Mihal, shout out.
He's also said, as for Pro League Season 8 Survival, we won't worry about the first one, that's about North America. In EU, it's not clear. We could still have Ago, Fnatic, Heroic, and even Ninjas in Pajamas in that last spot. And that last position means auto-relegation. You drop down to the Mountain Dew League, where you have the likes of Virtus Pro, LDLC are down there, Epsilon, names along those lines. So still a highly contested league, but you want to stay in the Pro League for obvious reasons.
The only contest that is, you know, an absolute blowout, Chad, do you have any idea what it is? Because I do.
The only contest that is an absolute blowout.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really a contest. It's just a straight-up blowout.
All right, tell me about it.
It's gaming, recording, and streaming without compromise over on your Intel processor. My goodness, I have at least 1 or 2 in my closet and in my computer. So,
So
what
you're just
you
hoarding
cool, or-
processors?
I'm not hoarding processors. I'm just on the cusp of building a new computer.
Oh, okay.
And having that Intel processor is going to be the heartbeat of this new PC.
Okay, normally, yeah, because that's what you need to kick the whole
Kind of
thing
like
off.
make it work
Yeah.
and function.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Either way, yes. In terms of today's match, Chad, we have a special treat here. FaZe Clan, even if they win both their matches tonight, it could still not spell success.
Well, as we already mentioned, there are so many names who could make it within this top 7, and we're going to focus on the FaZe one because for the main reason is they're one of the teams who have 2 notches in the belt for the Intel Grand Slam right now, right? You got to keep that in mind.
Yep, you got to keep that in mind. But, of course, we've got to start flipping the pages a little bit more because it's time for the pre-match.
Fallen is on the defuse. The lineup is still there. It's done. He doesn't have the ammo. He doesn't have the ammo. He's holding it. Guardian.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
This is the pre-match of Heroic versus FaZe Clan, squaring off on our last day number 15. It's been a long but short season at the same time, Chad.
It has felt like a very condensed season. You know, like we've only done to 15 days this time round. And a lot of matches, you know, we saw a lot of the top teams playing within the first week. We had that Super Week as well, Na'Vi with a lot of games back-to-back. But seeing that highlight right there on screen of last time we were in Odense, so that was Season 6 finals last year. This time last year, we were over there. That was a fantastic final. We had SK taking on FaZe Clan in the grand final. And that was awesome because that was the culmination of the 2 best teams at the time going toe-to-toe in the best-of-5 grand final. There were so many highlight moments. It was sick. The crowd there, the Danish fans, they were out in full force.
On their feet.
This is the thing. And FaZe, they were in the final obviously 2 seasons ago. This time around, they might not even make it to the playoffs at all. So this is a very troublesome time. And as I was just alluding to with the Intel Grand Slam, the reason that we want to stick with this storyline is FaZe have 2. Right now, Astralis are on 3. If FaZe isn't there to contest against Astralis for that kind of 4 in the belt, you know, obviously winning the Intel Grand Slam, then we're not getting the 2 titans or at least the 2 lead horses going toe-to-toe. We want to make sure that we have, you know, the most competitive race for that Intel Grand Slam. So if FaZe can somehow miraculously get through, win both games against Heroic tonight as convincing as possible, and then the other results go their way, they can see themselves in that top 7, and they have a good place to start on Mirage, Trace.
Yes, Mirage will be the center focal point of our potentially first of many matches we could be finding ourselves looking over tonight. But, of course, I did say it was going to be Heroic and FaZe. We do have them on 2 maps to beginning off. So, without any further ado, Chad, let's just ask the big question in the room. Why is it that Heroic hasn't found a big footing?
Heroic, well, this is the thing, right? They're like the 3rd or 4th best Danish team, especially now that we have Optic on the scene. And these guys, you know, they have had a lot of players kind of poach for them. You can even see in the background behind us here, Valde is one of the mans who once donned a Heroic jersey, now playing for that North roster. So these guys are more like the poaching field for the rest of the scene. Now they finally put some bits and pieces together. Obviously, they've got Freiburg in there, and we've touched on this storyline many, many times. But when you look at the top 7 within Pro League, you wouldn't rank Heroic within that top 7, unfortunately, right? If they can qualify now today, that's fantastic for them. But otherwise, you wouldn't be putting them in that kind of position. You wouldn't be saying that they're a top 7 contender, whereas FaZe, on the other hand, are. And I think it's just because they do get pilfered so often, right? Players get taken and they have to rebuild time and time again. And that is an issue.
Well, I would just want to say that Danish players that come from this team probably see themselves doing a little bit more successful of runs on other rosters, unfortunately. But there is one player that's sticking out in my mind. It's going to have to be Mertz.
Mertz is the one? Well,
Yeah.
Mertz obviously was on the North roster earlier in the year, right? We did see this guy playing for that team and didn't really have any success with MSL as the in-game leader. The option they went for was to put Nico in Mertz's shoes and then MSL to be the main AWPer. Now, I've seen Mertz playing for some time. I saw him within the academy team. You and I actually witnessed him at DreamHack Winter 2017 playing for North Academy then and there. And we were, I guess, relatively impressed. He was the best player on that squad by a long shot. He was there with Gade, who's now in Optic. Who's now in North. There's been so many shuffles within this Danish scene, but Mertz is one of these prospects who didn't live up to the hype, and because of that has found himself in one of the lower ranked teams. But in this squad, he gets an opportunity, along with this man on your screen here, S-Tag, to be more star players, because Freiburg and Modi, they're more like the backbone of this team, at least in my opinion. Then you've got S-Tag and Mertz, who I think, are maybe the two-star, more sporadic, more aggressive players, and then Asilian, another player who's been in the scene for a long time, but gets another opportunity now, and he gets to be the in-game leader of this motley crew of Danes and Swedes.
Danish-Swedish affair. Some might not even say that that's a real thing, could never exist. But in fact, it does, and that's what we're going to have. Not potentially tonight, but dare I say...
A Danish-Swedish affair.
Yeah, dare I say in the near future. I mean, I guess you could think about Heroic in their lineup, but I was thinking like two different parties, not all in the same party, Chad, you cool? Or
I'm just confused as where we were going with that
You
one.
did this to yourself, just like Heroic did this to themselves in the season. Did this to themselves this season. My goodness, the English is escaping me.
Well, you do speak
yes,
American more often than not, so that would be the issue right there. But you can see right here, losing 2-0 to Na'Vi, losing 2-0 to Mousesports. That's nothing that you should really be too ashamed of. Splitting series with Hellraisers, a team who's come top 8 within the major cycle. That's not bad at all. And then same with the Space Soldier situation. So it's all about, like, if you're able to steal those wins, and obviously they weren't against the Na'Vi and Mousesports of the world, but they're not in a horrible position. They just want to avoid relegation as far as I'm concerned. Whereas FaZe Clan, they're playing for all the marbles.
Yeah, and it's got to be pretty bittersweet to know that even if they do win both their matches, there's a chance they're not going to Odense.
Well, this is the thing. At this point, we would normally try and break down all the possible scenarios. The issue is right now, there are so many situations that could unfold, and they're based on who wins and loses other matches.
Yeah.
So as more information comes to light, as other games get completed, we'll keep you up to date with what's going on. But right now, the best way we can look at this is if you're a FaZe fan, you want them to win both games. You need them to win both games. And whatever else happens, as long as they give it 110% in the server.
Which is kind of what we began to highlight in the beginning of the season, is you don't want to be one of those teams with your back against the wall at the end of the season, fighting just to have someone else win the game for you and propel you forward.
So I was just bringing up another tweet on my phone right now, and this is from Uli, or the Flying DJ, who is a ESL.
Yes.
Might be able to get his exact title, but anyway, he's high up at ESL. He made a tweet earlier today. For FaZe Clan to make the finals of ESL Pro League and keep their run for the Intel Grand Slam going, they need to win both maps today, while Windigo and Space Soldiers have to drop 3 points each, and Hellraisers can't get a single one against G2. So there's all those other variables going on, as I mentioned, because of all these different bits and pieces. His title is Senior Vice President of Product at ESL, by the way. So he's an important man. But that tweet coming in there shows you the conditions in which FaZe need to win to actually be able to get through and make it to the playoffs. Now, the good sign is, and I already alluded to this earlier, is they're playing Mirage. That's their best map.
Yeah.
That's their #1 map in their wheelhouse. Going up against Heroic, who are looking a lot more free-flowing, I suppose, in recent times. It's not necessarily going to be the easiest task, but they should be the heavy favorites in this matchup by a long shot.
Well, the last time this team squared off, at least on Mirage, would have been at DreamHack Masters Stockholm, where in which FaZe took them to overtime and won 1960. Now, you can take a look at their recent matches in the Pro League.
Yep.
And what does it tell you, Chad?
Well, this is where we should be seeing a team like FaZe making sure they're grabbing a win against, the Hellraisers and Ninjas in Pajamas. When you are the higher team, you should always be splitting series. We know it's online Counter-Strike. We know results will happen, but you can't be going down 2-0 to Hellraisers. You can't be losing both maps to Ninjas in Pajamas. You need to be splitting these, and maybe if that was to happen, they wouldn't have found themselves in this position. But as you can see, they have been able to do that against the likes of North and Mousesports. So right now, as we've talked about time and time again, it's for all the marbles. It all comes down to this. And there's really no two ways around it. They just have to win. That's all there is to it. There's no other discussion.
Pedal to the metal, getting it done. 5 dudes and a server, getting it done, just like the 4 of us here on this desk. And I say 4 because we actually have 2 others joining us here to our right, which would be your left. We do have Sadokist and Henry G.
That's a blonde Sadokist.
Okay, sorry, man.
Oh, you're going
Anyway,
officially by that title?
Yes.
Is it like Bad Fallen?
Exactly.
Okay.
What's your attribute, though? You just blonde or?
Just had more dumb now.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Understandable. Henry, you got anything to say about your friend? Or
No, it's fine. It's all good.
Cool, man. Well, just two dudes that'll be getting it done there later on as we go forward in this broadcast when we move forward into that game. But again, Chad, we need to go over Mirage and what to expect here.
Look,
Who's going to win, Chad? Just say it.
I think it will be FaZe. I think they have more to play for in the sense of they just have to win. But when we look at Mirage, I've spoken about these guys on Mirage so many times. This is the only map that we ever seem to see them playing on, right? This is always their choice. They have to win this map. And the thing is with it, you're going to see, I'm really struggling at this point to talk about their T-sides because all they do is they do their mid-control smokes and then they split onto A. They do their mid-control smokes, they split onto B. They have a B execute, they have an A execute.
And
all
it's the same people picking every time to try and make it work, right? Like Nico Palace, Guardian take the op to
and then
B.
it's all just mid-round. It's all just mid-round stuff. It's if they can execute and then play the mid-round. That's all this comes down to for FaZe.
Well, how can Heroic topple them if they don't know how they're going to operate, you know? So it's kind of like, yeah, we'll go mid to B or mid to A, but also we'll just kind of make it work. We got mid-round stuff.
That's kind of like life, right?
Yeah, just kind of like rolling
Wake up
along
every day.
on the hamster wheel, just kind of getting it done. Anyway, Henry, I know you guys watch quite a few games or whatever it is you guys do. What exactly is it that you think about this FaZe lineup now, where they find themselves?
I still think they're in a bit of a state of flux right now. It's not really sure what the future holds for them. I feel like the whole Carrigan situation is a very interesting one. I don't know about you, but I thought he kind of redefined himself with the Org and the Krieg. It seems like he's found something new at least, like something to kind of reignite his powers somewhat.
My big thing with this whole situation right now is I wouldn't mind, and you probably have, when you've been in-game leading before as well, it's not an issue, I think, to take a small break or hiatus from in-game leading just to either refocus or get thoughts from somebody else. So I think as long as they return to him at some point being the in-game leader, I don't mind the situation. It's just the team needs to get their confidence reinstilled in him as a player. And I think he's shown that.
Well, I said this before as well. I think he has the hardest job of any in-game leader in the world right now because he has to balance so many egos and so many players that want to just dominate when they get frustrated. They just, like Nico used to want to break out all the time, take control. He has to rein that in. So I kind of agree that right now it might be better to let him get away from it. We saw Virtus Pro try this all the time famously, and usually it worked. But I think that the problem with Carrigan as well, though, and this is what led to his demise in Astralis, is that he comes up with one sort of approach to it, psychology to it, philosophy to it, and he wants to do only that, and he's not willing to adapt sometimes to other people's play style. So then you get this this literally just butting of heads where Carrigan wants to do one thing, and Nico might say, hey, why don't I just do this? He goes, no, I don't want you to do it, and then it gets snowballing. Because I know that the biggest problem in Astralis from talking to them was that Device had one idea he wanted to do on the op and play style and be more aggressive, and Carrigan was like, well, that doesn't fit the rest of them, and then it just never worked because they were doing two different things at once.
Well, even having talked to Nico in Chicago, we heard remnants of that. Yes, Carrigan still has some influence within the calling system there, so it's not totally on
I think
Nico.
they all do, to be fair. Like even Guardian said, like he made one of the most influential calls in one of the big games there. Like he made the suggestion. I think like it's not just Nico hoping he can work this all out. He's going to have some ideas thrown at him and people offering their suggestions. So I don't think he's out there alone.
Yeah, I think the big issue that does happen is when you get in the games that are really intense and there's too many voices, then that's when you really come into problems, right? You need someone to step up and make the call because at some point everybody's going to get too nervous and people are going to shut down with suggestions. The people are more than happy to make suggestions when you're in like, I don't know, like a group stage match or whatever, and maybe you're battling back and forth. But when it gets to those really intense matchups and everything's on the line, that's when it can really get difficult. And if somebody makes a suggestion and then like it can start internal conflict, you want to try and stay away from that. That's why we want to just make sure you got one chief at the end of the table making all the decisions.
Right. One chief and not a bunch of Native Americans. Is that fair to say?
Well, you want people to be listening to what you're saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but I'm saying you can't have too many chiefs.
I'm not touching that one.
You want someone.
Okay, you know what?
We don't want too many cooks. You want
exactly.
You want one
too many
cook
cooks
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And you want everybody else taking out the food. Right?
Yeah.
What?
What are you guys talking about?
You guys are really gaslighting me.
Yeah,
here.
we're staring at you like colorblind people looking at a Rubik's Cube.
So just to note, we're going
Yes.
to be as well, just for all the viewers at home, we're going to be touching on all the matches as we're going through. So I assume that you guys will be staying on top of all the other games that are going on.
We've got. This is the thing. We've got like 5 monitors here. Why don't
That's
we put
true.
them
We're
all
going to
on?
have all the games on.
Why don't we
have
just
like
put
a
them all on?
matrix.
And then I can do an update.
We'll definitely do updates as we're going along and timeouts and stuff. We'll look at all the other games.
It's more than a B-stream update at that point.
Yeah.
It's like
Because information will constantly be coming through from League Ops as what's possible. The reason, as I was telling the viewers, the reason we haven't given all the definitive options is because there are so many different trickle-down effects that could happen here. So as we learn more, we'll be updating. And I would assume right now the reason we're not live
That's a good question.
Because we're probably waiting for
Start
everybody
everything.
to be in at the same time.
Yes.
So for the integrity of this, the reason we want to start all the games at the same time is because so many different games can affect so many different outcomes. We need everybody to be going at the same time. Now, in the theory of technology, where you could just be at home and have your phone out and, I don't know, look at the results of the other
You're
games.
still going to be trying to win, though, right?
Of course, you need to be focused. You just want to win your games. That's all you can do.
I mean, perhaps we can even go down a little bit of a list here. We can just pick
I like lists.
I just want to say that I caught a glimpse of myself, and I look as ridiculous as Jacques Villeneuve right now. There's about 10 people will get it. They'll get it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, shout out to all 10 of you out there in the audience.
Hey.
What's up, 1997? How's it going?
Big Navi on cash.
Well, it doesn't matter because both those teams are qualified.
Cool.
So that result, we don't
But
really
that
care
result
about.
won't trickle down at all.
It may do, but in terms of us looking at that for influencing those two teams within the playoffs, and that's all we can look at right now, because I can't theory craft every single thing, Trace.
You should be
Those
able
two
to,
teams
Chad.
are already qualified.
should be able to
Astralis versus
theory
Ago, here's where it gets problematic. Astralis are playing from North America. They've already qualified. Ago are playing from Europe. They are in relegation position. So that's the type of game where this gets dumb. That's the type of game where stuff gets out of control. Let's
Sure.
be honest. That's one where if Ago win both those matches versus Astralis, the best team in the world, they could pull themselves out of that 14th position, and another team could slot on down. So that kind of sucks. X-Space.
It's the way she goes, though.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Sometimes she doesn't. That's just the way that
Tonight
goes.
she's not going.
I guess we could continue to go down the list. And Chad, maybe you just pick some names you want yourself.
Cool. Well, X-Space Soldiers versus Fnatic, they're in that weird limbo period, those two teams. What else we got? Mouse Spots versus NIP. Both those teams are in a really weird position as well. So there's a lot of the limbo. Lots of limbo. You got a limbo?
I haven't done it for a while. Quite flexible, though. Trace has seen it, so...
You seen limbo?
Seen him be very flexible.
We're being left
Seemed
in limbo
very-
right now.
Very vulnerable, kind of like us. Some deer in headlights going on around here, but in fact, I think that we are still waiting to get underway here in the
Okay.
games. You guys might be onto something when it comes down to getting all the games started at once.
Yeah,
or
I
you
think
might not.
That's typically, I think, the way we've done it in the past.
Sure. Yeah, that is the way.
Kind of provide like a red zone comprehensive coverage.
How many games are there at once, exactly?
7.
7. That's quite the task to get all of them on the starting
Usually
line.
it's a task to get 10 players on the server.
Yeah, we're going to do really well here. Where we going with this, Trace?
Not very far, or when?
Should we make a podcast topic?
We could.
Okay.
We left off on catch up, so
No, I think we should keep it Counter-Strike related.
Yeah, I
don't
think
you?
so too.
that's what I'm saying. We left off on catch up. Where are we going?
Mustard?
We could talk about... what's the
guys-
next big event coming up?
We've got
Next big event? Well, you've got obviously Pro League finals. There's the competitor league finals.
ECS.
There's
ECS
Malta.
finals. There's Malta.
Maltese
and then
event.
the next sort of third party away from a league event would be Blast Lisbon.
That's the last
and
one
that's
of the
pretty
year.
much it for
That's
the
the
year.
end of the year. We got the DreamHack Atlanta. You'll be there, right?
Yes, indeed, Chad.
What are the teams who are at that one? Bring them up. Let's
As
have a
of
look.
Right now, it looks a little bit like
Oh, Vitality are there. They get to play on land.
Envious, Fraxers, Ghost, Luminosity, Rogue, Complexity, E United.
Wow. Stacked.
So pretty stacked. Just be out there doing that. Shout out DreamHack crew, even though Mark Winter got the same shoes as me, and not the other way around. We could
So
probably,
Ghost Gaming actually lost last night to Cloud9 with Valence standing in because Golden was is unwell still.
Valens is just killing everyone. it
Isn't he
seems.
great?
Yeah, it's just wrecking,
Shout
wrecking
out to
house.
Twist, by the way. It's his birthday, and he had his wisdom teeth pulled, so it's not the only coach
What a
that
sucky
played
time to get your
because-
wisdom teeth
Yeah,
out.
Zeus had to step
Yeah.
in.
Is there really?
I
a good
got
time for
mine
that,
out when
though?
I was 21. It was terrible.
Probably
No,
not
it wasn't
on your
that.
birthday.
I was like 23.
How many? Let's wisdom teeth. Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
23, but here's the thing for me, I have a bleeding disorder, so I had to get injected to harden my blood before they did it, and my whole mouth was like jelly. It was disgusting. And so it was a big ordeal. I had
How
to be
many
like
did you have
monitored.
out?
I had all 4.
Were they
Yeah.
impacted?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one was, the others were going to be.
Okay.
And I had to basically stay overnight in the hospital to make sure I didn't bleed out during the night.
That's yikes.
Henry, I know you've had a few medical procedures in your life. So what about the thing of wisdom teeth?
Never had them out.
Are they there?
Yeah, that is.
Can you feel them?
Yeah, they're just hanging out. They're fine.
Do they hurt you or anything?
It's my teeth. They're cool.
Some people don't need them out.
Are they breaching through?
That is done, I think. If
Okay.
Like he said, they're there. It's fine.
Cool. That's
They
pretty
exist.
good. You got really lucky.
Yeah,
I
had to get Invisalign last year, so you have to have your wisdom teeth in order to get that done.
Oh, of
so he said
course,
it was
because that'll
fine.
push everything out of the way.
Yeah, so it's fine.
I had all 4 of mine
Actually,
out.
just to go back to that, when I ripped mine out, my dentist says this is a myth, but there's no way it's not. I didn't wear my retainers after the first time I had braces. After I got my wisdom teeth out, my whole mouth shifted so much I had to do Invisalign again.
Yeah.
And it accelerated all the movement in my mouth, which I think is 100% true because it's the only triggering point I had. But my dentist was like, "No, it's a myth." I was like, "I don't
Think
know."
about this. this, Henry. I don't know what you're going to say, but it might be questionable. So what's up?
I'm just saying, maybe we should. You said keep a Counter-Strike
Well, no,
related.
we
We're talking
haven't
about
gone
teams.
down the line.
We
Chat, listen
can't.
to you.
No. Let's bring it back down to earth. In fact, there's something even more, larger than life on our plate coming forward, and it's going to be that of the Supreme Katowice Major.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's always a good one, and it's the Supreme Major, not to be confused with any of the other majors you might have seen. This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the big one. This is a historic, prestigious event, and it's one of the most hype and exciting we have. The crowd are awesome. Usually, the most hype thing is when Virtus Pro were in their heyday, and actually getting to the semis and stuff. That's not going to be happening anymore.
No.
They won't even be at this event, to be honest. But still, like the crowds turn up in buckets and spades. It's considered one of the most iconic Counter-Strike venues we have and events. And I think has it never been a major before?
Yes, it has.
When
Yes,
was it? 24?
It was twice. 2014, 2015.
Oh,
I competed in both. So.
Anyway, it was a little before.
I competed
It
in
was
both.
actually, it was before our time. We started in August of that year.
Yeah.
And it was March would have been the last one.
You and I were there at both of them.
Yes.
You
That's
were
true.
You're the manager of Cloud9.
How'd you get on?
Yeah.
Just a player.
There was a lot going on then, kind of like there's a lot going on with these minors. In fact, we can start to break that down and begin to take a look at just how it is that you might qualify for the Supreme Major of Katowice 2019.
Why are you calling this Supreme Major?
Let me
it is the Supreme Major.
Let me catch everybody up. So
that
what
a
we're
thing?
looking at right now is the Southeast Asian teams, and this is the closed qualifier. So this is online right now, and I believe that one team from this will be qualifying for the offline finals, which will be the minor, the Asian minor, which will be going down next year in January. I think the dates have been announced for. They'll be going up against the likes of obviously the teams that qualify from Oceania. So the big name here, the big standout name that we've seen a lot from recently is probably Boot. And then in terms of the rest of these names, Signature Gaming are from Thailand. I think Rekka may be Singaporean. I'm not 100% on that one. I know we have more of these graphics. We have East Asia and we have China. So I'm not sure which one's up next, but either way, here we go. East Asia. So obviously we saw good things out of SZ Absolute. They've just left that organization. That's a Japanese team who did well and surprised in the minor last time for Face It. We do have MVP. We know that they can do some decent things.
They can do some stuff.
What do you think about this bracket, Henry?
It's looking exciting. Not clear who's going to be running away with it, to be honest.
Yeah, so I think
No Tyloo there anymore.
I think one of these teams.
It's all kicking off.
Even SC Absolute isn't named.
Oh,
that
two
anymore.
of these teams qualify for so 8 teams go through to the minor. So I'm pretty sure it's 2 from Oceania, 2 from China, 1 from Southeast Asia, 2 from East Asia, as you can see right here, and then I think the last team goes to
There you go.
India. I think
That's all. This makes it much easier to work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, 8 teams closed qualifier, 8 teams from the closed qualifier. What's the orange? What's the difference? Oh, CIS in Europe. Sorry, regional.
Yeah. So one team
And then
from the
North
Middle
America,
East.
South America get 8 combined.
1 team from the Middle East, 2 from East Asia, 1 from Southeast Asia, 2 from China, and 2 from Oceania. So Renegades have had to actually travel back to Australia to play.
That's always been an issue for them.
Well, no, they've never normally had to play in the closed qualifier. They normally
already
are
been
invited
Yeah,
straight
but
to the
even
minor.
for the minors, they've had to because okay, fair enough. In that point, yes, but remember they had to back out of events in the past just to go play the minor system.
Yeah, this is the first time it hasn't clashed in that regard. So there's been multiple Pro League seasons that when I was still part of Renegades, we had to skip on the Pro League finals because we had to go play minors. So this time around, there's no conflict in that regard. So that's a positive. But even down under, we've got Greyhound, we've got Order, we've got Chiefs. There's some Tainted Minds. There's some big names that they're going to have to contest with just to get through to that minor, which is normally a given for them. So if they're unable to qualify there, that could be hugely problematic for the North American organization with Australians, New Zealanders, and a Norwegian. So yeah, cool beans, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a battle to get there. This is pretty epic.
This
It's a long
really-
period of time next year, too. I mean, let's face it. We're going from like January right through to the middle of March, or at beginning of March. I think March 3rd is the finals for the major. That is the day of which the crown will be given.
The crown will be donned upon the winner's head.
Dawned.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess. Or just placed, like, very gently.
Do we have any information of
kinda
what's
what
going on?
Don
We
means.
have little to no information, and in fact, this is not a position we're not used to being in, but it would appear as though, with that going on behind us, that perhaps it is time to get into FaZe versus Heroic on Mirage, and it's going to be these two over here. We'll be taking it away in Sadakis and Brewer.
Blonde, Sadokis. Thank you very much.
Whatever, dude.
Oh, we're off. It looks like they've started, Matt, and it will be Heroic starting on the T side here of Mirage. FaZe, CT Forces, we've got the smoke and a defuse kit for Carrigan as the execution has already begun. It will be Heroic making their way through, and it's range in the fence. They're always in CT Sport. S-Tag will take him down, though, and we are off. The bomb should be able to be planted here, as we'll get the radar up in a second.
Think about it. It's not that important, actually. I play Crunker.io, and I don't use a radar, so these guys can, too. It's a Cillian inside of the site. Big night for FaZe. They said it as well. This has implications on the Grand Slam. FaZe, the only other team really in the mix at this point with Astralis, who have already qualified for this land and have 2 more events to wrap that up. They need 1 more victory. Olaf will take down Mertz. Keep in mind as well, Astralis has not won a home event.
That's true.
And this one's in Odense.
Yeah, surely this is the one, and $1 million on the line as well.
Pretty big deal.
Lots to play for.
Could be the largest prize pool ever if you include the Grand Slam. It doesn't really go into that, but
they did get asked on the stage last week. Would they prefer to win $1 million on home soil or at the major? Like, what would be better? Like, so they got 2 chances to do it. So
I mean, at that point, it's $1 million. Just take it, no matter what. Start over at the major. Do a Grand Slam times 2. They may not do that.
I think you missed the point there. There's like, which would be more special for him?
I get it. What did they answer with?
He said the major. He said, like, sure, it'd be amazing to do on home soil, but that's like, it'd be so historic to do it at a major, you know? Like, just to have the double down.
Throw confirmed.
Yeah, so that would be kind of cool. But obviously try and get it. Look like, oh shit, we can throw the
exactly.
last map. We would want to save this on the major.
Take what you can get.
Yeah. But if you had to choose, I guess. But anyway, Heroic winning the pistol here. There is a force buy in response from FaZe. As we'll see the double scouts come through with Olaf and Guardian. To Nico to defend short. He'll be dropping the smoke and waiting for them to push their way towards B. Bomb's still down there. Heroic being very slow at this point. We haven't really seen Heroic in a few months now. At least you and I haven't seen them in any big tournaments. Just been grinding away. Interested to see what they can bring to the table here. Definitely have a fighting chance of taking down FaZe, although you'd expect FaZe to be the favourites. But imagine how much homework and theory crafting that Heroic can get done in the time they don't have to be at all these events like FaZe do.
Mert's already inside of the ladder room. This will give a fantastic position for the T's to work from. Having the guns in their favor and getting the information now as well. Cillian still trying to peek back through. AK in hand will start to take out from Connector as well. Getting ever closer toward the site. They do have to contend with jungle. The fact that they have ladder, they've actually gone off that. Nico starts it well. In fact, doubles up. We didn't see that. 2 with a deagle. Nico making things very problematic. Molly works his way back in, and he'll now cover off the bomb plant because they still have the control of Connector. So Cillian safe from that side. Kerrigan gets taken down, but here comes Rain, and Rain has the deagle as well. 2 scouts, if he can even soften them up. Look at the HP. Maudie and Cillian are absolutely susceptible of going down. Thankfully, they've got no off in the process as Rain works back in. It's just 2 to find. This is absolutely possible at this point in time.
If they had the kit, maybe it just seems like the bomb halfway gone. They have to start finding kills very quickly now. Mertz, how has he missed that? That should have been his. Now they actually have got the kit as well, and Modi will find the first. That should be it now. As Guardian's down 2 HP, it got so close there. Mertz with the huge miss. They could have cost him the round, but still, it will be Heroic finding the second. And because the FaZe side actually force bought there, this should be okay. The fact they got 4 kills, they might be tempted to buy up again, but I doubt it highly. So it should be 3-0 here, the full eco, as Nico does light them up with the deagle then. 2 excellent shots, as we'll go 2-0. And the scout is saved over, but I don't think they'll invest much more than some deagles here. And indeed, it'll be Nico with a Desert Eagle. Same story for Rain. So it should be quite a convincing victory for Heroic, but they want to try and keep 5 players alive if possible. Molotov's down, smoke's there, more mid control from Heroic. Last day of Pro League here. Already have multiple teams locked in. Nico wants to be one of those as he gets another headshot with the deagle. That's pretty unreal how he keeps finding those shots and connecting them with 1 bullet. Scout's still up for Guardian as well. With this advantage, this becomes a little bit more possible for them. Modi tagged up as well by the scout. Carrigan goes down to 57 HP. Cillian will find the first kill, though. I want to scout the find. That's Nico, who's been dropped.
Maudie. Still working around from the B apartments. Managed to heroic, but with 57 seconds, they've got to get a move on toward the site. All three, in fact, over in B from FaZe as they stack up with weapons. Rain still working out with the Deagle. Olaf's read the fact that they've now identified a problem and gone back over toward A, so he'll be the first to rotate. Scout only in hand, but likely this goes the way of heroic as well. Once again, no kits, so similar problem if that bomb goes down.
That'll be it. If the bomb goes down, there's no way the CTs can recover this, I'm afraid. Olaf Meister, the scout, dropped by Asilium. Couple of kills coming his way, and just Carrigan now. He will not be able to find a single thing. Mertz is the only player to go down, courtesy of Nico's Deagle. He's got $6,500, Nico, so presumably he'll be purchasing the AWP, which he does, gives that to Guardian. He'll get an M4 in response. And we're into it. Carrigan, remember we said on the pre-game, that has been redefining himself with the scoped weaponry, primarily the Organ Krieg. We'll see whether this is going to be beneficial to him in the first gun round here. Heroic 3-0 up. Exactly what they needed. Never easy for FaZe. As they'll be up against the default here towards the connector. See Freiberg is going through the motions now, trying to get that control. You can see the flashbangs and set smokes they had. Guardian is playing in the connector this time. Two players in underpass, and Olaf Meister just above them right now as he pushes up towards short. Trying to get a bit of information here as to what's going on top of middle. Asilium beneath him. There's Nico, 4 kills to his name. I think all of them have been with the Deagle.
Stag wants to get back in through the window. Nico drops a smoke down inside mid. That can actually give him a bit to work with. It's isolating to his right side, means he can peek out, actually counter off this window play, and pushing through. It's a Cillian to shut him down. This is this is the night FaZe needs to win.
The absolute night they need to win, and that's Nico thinking he wouldn't be as grey screen there. I think he set that up so he could push through the smoke, but you could see his vision was absolutely limited. As S-Tag will take that all off and respond to it. He's waiting for reactions now. They'll finish up with the A split. Guardian is there and starting to hit shots now. He'll get the first, but he's got so much more work to do here. But luckily, the smoke is down, which makes things a little bit more overwhelming for the terrorists, and they start to crumble here. That was 2 frags given away. It's now a 2 versus 2. Molotov towards the jungle area, and the plant should be happening here. That the Freiberg is trying to defend his teammate, but not doing a great job so far. Bomb planted, but surely Moddy's out of luck this time. He's up against Rain, and now he knows where he is as well. How he survives that, I don't know. And he actually wins out. Moddy will find a fantastic round there for Heroic. It was a 5-on-3 in their favor, but all of a sudden, Guardian starts hitting absolutely everything. But Moddy, this is the moment he actually wins the round, because Rain spots him first, and usually you'd expect Rain to hit an insta-headshot, but tags him up slightly through the box. Means Moddy can reposition, take him down. He was low already. And we go 4-0. CZ's coming out, Deagle as well. Couple of smokes, couple of flashbangs. That's about all they have as we enter round number 5 here. Who would have thought? Heroic on the T side as well. Starting off potentially 5-0 to get the opening kill. That's attack to take down Guardian. See if the CTs can respond.
Carrigan looking to try to get around behind. Quad does only run into Moddy on the other side. Moddy's looked pretty sharp so far this game. Nico, Olaf, 2 versus 5. Nico is well going to sit back on the window and really just hope that someone walks his direction. He can get a gun for it. Certainly can hear the fact that someone's there. Keep in mind, Moddy's just on another level right now.
He's loving it, isn't he?
That's just unreal. I know what you're up to, bud. I was going to say, keep in mind, if it was the old little roof, the tin roof that was there, he could actually swing and get that peak.
Yeah.
Now you can't really do that anymore.
Well, FaZe can't really do anything right now. They are getting overwhelmed. They'll go for the double AWP setup, which is quite common when you find yourself with this sort of start. Olaf Meister and Guardian. It seems to be Olaf is the secondary AWPer full-time now for FaZe. It was Nico for so long, but they're just trying to keep on the rifles now. I think that was a criticism we actually said back before we were casting their games. It's like it felt like it was weird. You got this amazing rifler. Why not let someone else pick up the slack with the AWP? Olaf's more than capable, actually very good with it. As we'll find the opening pick for FaZe this time. Freiberg's been tagged up as well. It's up to S-Tag to try and get this in response. The smoke goes down instantly as he gets up there. So trying to operate quickly through it, get himself in a comfortable position and wait for that smoke to go down. Then he can see if he can wiggle his way through.
So the smoke waiting for Nico. Things need to start working as well because Chad said it. They don't really have a lot going on their T side. Not that it's not formidable, not that they don't have the skill, because they certainly have that in spades. It's that they don't really have a lot of setup other than default A, default B, mid control. So Aztec taking out Nico again toward mid is going to be a problem for them. Now, thankfully, this time FaZe do have a man advantage, and Olaf was in a perfect position, I thought. He gets run over, and Kerrigan does as well. This comes back to a 2-on-2 with rotations required. It could be another round gone.
With Modi in this AWP position as well, this actually looks very interesting. That's an easy kill. Rain, what are you up
That's
to?
way too easy. He
What are
didn't
they
even
doing?
jump correctly. They just ran into him.
Why not at least go together and have a trade? Guardian could be behind you when you go for that jump. That's just awful. Look at how easy this is. Just jumps in like that. Like, where's the trade? There's nothing. Guardian's just like a second behind him. This is not looking good for FaZe.
No, I mean, FaZe need to win both games.
Yeah.
They need 6 points tonight.
Is that the only way?
I mean, they're at 31 points right now. Hellraiser's already on 36.
Sure.
So that's 5 point different, and that's to 7th place. Now, that's pending other scenarios in which Hellraisers picks up a victory this evening. So there's lots of things going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. This is just must win then, haven't they? They need at least a 37.
If they got 5 points, maybe there's a round differential based on the fact that Hellraisers and Space Soldiers and Wendigo all don't pick up wins. But yeah, this is a big deal.
But they lost 2-0 to Hellraisers, so we did not go down the head-to-head.
You're right. Yeah. So they need 6 points. This is huge. Astilion's going to start it off again. FaZe have got to pull up their socks. This is essentially well, it's not really. I was going to try and say it's a best of 3 in which they need to win 2-0.
Yeah.
If you want to look, but basically they need to win both games in regulation. Simple as that.
Well, there you go. The jeopardy has been set. We'll see whether it's possible to recover for FaZe. We're on pistols once again, though. This is another round. Nice bunny hop from Rain, but still Astillion will get the shots required. So will Mert. It's just carried in that B site. Good for 1 frag, but that is it. Nico left alone. Deagle in the underpass, not really worth casting this at this point because the bomb will go down. We can look to the next round. They still have the maximum loss bonus, of course. Ooh, Nico has been pretty deadly with this particular weapon. They will get the bomb down. There's almost nothing he can do apart from save the AK, perhaps, as he'll grab that. Flashbangs in, and he'll get the AK and just fade away with the smoke. So that helps him out at least. Nico with an AK is a very scary prospect. We saw how sharp he was with the Deagle, but not going to keep it. Astillion, nice work to actually hunt him down there. I don't think he was expecting him. A little bit of BM there as well, not bad. Maximum loss bonus again. Will they go for that secondary AWP? Guardian's 5 and 5. He's hitting shots. Olaf gets the M4. It's up to Nico to buy the secondary AWP if he wants it. Not going to happen. Round 8. This would be a gutting way to go out to Heroic of all teams as well. They are currently sat in 12th spot, just above Fnatic, and I think it's Ago who are number 14. So after a long season, to go out in this sort of manner would be pretty gutting for them. It hasn't been the best year for FaZe. A couple of trophies, but overall, I'd say they wanted to do a lot better with the resources they have.
Oh, unbelievably so. I mean, someone asked me, do I think that the honeymoon period for FaZe wore off? And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, when
what
did it happen?
honeymoon? That shouldn't be a thing for a team with this much skill. There shouldn't be a honeymoon. This should just be a lifelong marriage.
Yeah, with the amount of backing they have, the names they have, the experience, there shouldn't be any problems with this team whatsoever, right? They should just be working. It doesn't make sense that they're still making playoffs. So they won Epicenter, and they always are dangerous at tournaments. But the amount of disappointment we've seen as well just doesn't justify the overall disappointment we've seen. But either way, it is going to be a minute remaining. It should be a kill for Nico, but Freiburg's looking up and about today. He actually takes him down, and there's no trade. There's nothing in response. Guardian towards Connector. He has got a slight gap. We'll see if he can capitalize upon it. Flashbangs coming in, and the A split looks prevalent once again. Guardian's going to be dropped here. Freiburg's on a tear, man. Funny, everyone.
You love Freiburg, too. This is great. This is great.
Freiburg
He's
fan.
traded out by Olaf. 7-0, though. I mean, our whole storyline for FaZe in this Grand Slam could end right now before they even get to the event.
Just to note as well, FaZe just lost to Mouse Sports in ECS and won't be making the finals there either, just because of one game.
That's
So
unbelievable.
this could happen twice. It'd be a double whammy night for them.
That's a big payday missed.
Yeah.
These two leagues are huge.
Yeah.
Just getting to the finals, you get some payout, but more so they're the biggest prize pools that exist. Mertz and Astillion. They'll be able to take down shots pretty quickly. Olaf tries to get one, but Maudie wraps around the corner. 8-0. This is just getting out of control.
They're convincing rounds as well. It's not like they're close or down to the 1v1s.
They seem to know exactly what FaZe is up to. Like, every time they're one step ahead.
Well, this is the point I had, is that Heroic don't go to all the big events. They're just trying to get better and better. They've got time to actually work on these demos and work on their own game plan and work out what the weaknesses are. And they're going to be a dangerous team. I'm not sure FaZe will be that energetic for this tonight. Like they're probably still jet lagged. They're trying to get themselves ready for the next event that's coming up and trying to have a bit of downtime. And I don't think they would have prepared heavily for this game. And they've just come off the back-breaking loss against Mousesports, not to make it to ECS finals. Probably not in the best mental position, and up against another Eco. Heroic are on for the perfect game so far. This is unbelievable. We'll see what can happen here as Asilian will open things up, takes down Carrigan, and now in the 5-on-4, Heroic, as long as they don't drop the ball, there's always danger of this match. As soon as you lose a Deagle round against FaZe, it's the sort of round that brings them right back into games. You need to capitalize upon these certain situations. You can't give these ones up. But the bomb's down, and they've still got flashbangs available to them, 6 in total. Mertz, great AWP up, holding up. He had the lineup there for the 3 boost.
I thought he had that. Former North Academy, former North player, and now sitting on Heroic.
Oh, it's happening.
Good. They're running it in. Still have Asilian to play it back. Another player I was about to mention because he's a solid talent that was on the outside of the Denmark dynamic too, I suppose, if you want to call it Astralis North for a while. As well as Heroic. Nico's got it back. Is this the first round?
Nope.
Nope, they're not on it. They don't have the kits. They couldn't get on it at all. And they're even going to lose one inside of the site. Olaf gets away with an AK 9-0. They have to win. Come on, they've got to win out this half, surely.
Well, the thing is as well, sure, you killed all 5, but it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They had like 5 players, I think, all on 5 digits. So that really didn't do anything apart from save that one weapon. Tactical timeout, the first one. We need a breather. Goodness gracious. What's going on here?
No, this is unbelievable. This is unprecedented. The fact that FaZe are down 9-0. I get it. They've had, you know, a long 2 weeks. We obviously saw them at both events that we were at in the past week, which was quite a bit of travel.
It's pretty unbelievable. I think it's really come to a head this week, hasn't it? Like all the travel. This is like the biggest week we've had of like.
This is the biggest, I would say, tier 1 travel that we've had, because you go blast straight to Chicago and now straight back into Pro League games immediately because we've got to finish the season 2 weeks out from the final.
There's always been conversations about it, but this is like where it's been the most disruptive. It seems like people are like really struggling with the amount of time needed in Counter-Strike right now. It seems like it's pretty unreal. We're all feeling that. What can be done? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't want to make it an excuse, but you bring up a good point with Heroic being certainly prepared.
Yes.
But FaZe are still a top tier team. They need to be, you know, in the picture, and right now they're not. This is 9-0 on Mirage, a map that they pick as their veto. That's a go-to for them at LAN.
This is one of their absolute mainstays. As Carrigan at least gets the opening pick. That's a position he's been playing a lot recently. I'm sure everyone's been giving it a go to tuck yourself in that little corner. With the AUG especially, nice to pick off those heads as we go to run number 10. So you have Freiburg can negate his way through middle. Surely this is the first round for FaZe. This is just getting dangerous for them. If you just joined us, maybe you've seen some of the hype online about the scoreline. If FaZe give up either of these maps, they're going to play 2. It's 2 separate best of 1s. They will not make it to Pro League finals. They have to win out here. And this is still possible. They can still find 5 rounds. My poor Carrigan sprays fully. That's going to mean him dropping off. He has to reload. It's going to allow them access to the site here. And Olaf Meister luckily finds the kill upon arrival, but not for long. My goodness, it still could fall apart.
Wow.
Mertz! This was a 5-on-3 mat, and it looks like it's done for.
They don't even look in this at all. Their communication's off. Do they want to go? Do they want to save? Do they back off? I mean, look, they're going to give it a go now because it's 3 with 2 up and they need rounds. So backing away, Rain will try and flash in. He doesn't even look sure of his lineup, to be honest. Gets it over, gets Guardian 1 at least. Now they can try and work on this. 1-on-2, good positioning from Freiburg. Easy headshot and a crossfire established. Freiburg gets both. That just walking in.
This is so bizarre. The rounds are thick and fast as well. They're all quite chaotic, and FaZe got the first openers, 2 of them. Freiburg is looking unbelievable today. Asilian following it up. It will be 10-0. And they're going to buy up again. They still have money for AWPs, it seems. If you just have one player save a weapon of maximum loss bonus, it will hook you up for a couple of rounds. But still, this is getting so dangerous. Oh, that nade as well. They know they're in the underpass. This is so funny. Modi just dunks a nade on them. 10-0? For Heroic on the T side of Mirage when it's do or die time for FaZe.
I think it's die time. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Unprecedented, isn't it? I've never seen anything like this.
And what a job for Heroic. What a job for them. I mean, they sit 12th. They're trying to get themselves out of the relegatory position right now because 12th and 13th place don't remember that.
Yes,
don't forget
just
they have
14
to play.
is instant relegation. 12 and 13 go to a playoff bracket. With
Exactly.
Max and G League,
So
right?
not only are they trying to keep themselves out of 14th, but if they could get into 11th, if they can pass NIP, which is totally doable, heck, they could even pass FaZe if they 2-0 them.
Yeah, that's true.
That puts them guaranteed out of that position, and therefore
So it's not like
they won't make the LAN, but they're out. They're guaranteed back in Pro League next season.
well, hold the phone. Rain has at least got one. Is there a double available? Not quite. Nico with the follow-up frag. They're just gonna let him survive for the looks of things. But Freiburg takes him down. It's a little wall bang as well. It's still a 3-on-3, and that's two of the main fraggers taken away. Rain and Nico. Carrigan. He's got the M4. Guardian still with the AWP there as well. 30 seconds remaining. I would say FaZe still have the upper hand here. Especially with the positioning of Olofmeister as well. He's in towards that top of middle position. And he's going to hear them, surely, making their way towards A. They don't have much time. But no one's there at A. Even though he's heard them, they're going to make it towards the side before Guardian can. He'll have to go for the vent here. Get to jungle quickly. Will he make it in time? They are going to cross. He has made it. So, should be able to hit the first shot, no problem. Bombs down. That should be the round, indeed. He will confirm it. Nice work from Guardian. Good communication. That's all down to Olofmeister's position. Remember, he was top of middle, heard them rotating towards T-spawn, allow Guardian to actually rotate, be there on time, and no utility to smoke off jungle. FaZe will arrive on the scoreboard. But that removes the loss bonus now. They need to follow this round up with a victory.
Absolutely. That's exactly it, because now you don't get the $3,400. So if they lose, they get $1,400 only. And with so many players going down, 1,400 is not enough. Not enough. They'll have to be perfect in this to make it 10-2, 10-5, and we certainly do still have a game as Freiburg fires in, tags Guardian through the window. Fractional, he's on 68, still with the AWP, so he'll be able to fight. Olaf even came to support that cause, but nobody else there. Instead, he'll flash back bottom mid. Those at the underpass. No one in window to peek off that, though, so I don't really know what the anticipation was after that flash. He didn't elect to hold the corner either, but he does get in the ladder, so he knows that if they get inside of window, chance he can do something of it. Smart from Matchday, uses the smoking, says, I'm not going to sit around. I don't want to hold position. Yeah, he's in. He's done. Nico just checks it, and he's already gone. This could be huge.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Look,
oh, Carrigan,
easy.
he's going to get knifed as well.
I don't think he's going to... Well, is his back exposed enough? I think he just shoots him. Has to at that point, but now the site's wide open.
You must crap yourself when that happens, right? You're just there, zoomed in with a scope, and you get shot in the back like that. It's pretty wild. But Nico at least keeps his round competitive. They can actually get in the kitchen here. Nico's in a lot of trouble. As you can see how difficult this is to negate. They just push through. Oh no, it's all falling apart. The reset's happening. It's all down to S-Tag making his way through. And Guardian has saved the AWP. They've got fully reset. They're 11-1 down. Oh,
they did that so well. They did that so well because the second that the smoke was laid, we saw Olaf. He was anticipating it. He was like, well, if I get into ladder, if they go window, I can at least catch him. And then Nico even says, well, I'll check it and make sure he's not through the smoke. He was already gone. He was long gone. So there was no way Carrigan was going to turn around and expect that. He had no information.
Not a good day in the office for FaZe here. Palace, well, trying to survive here. He actually does manage to get away with all those things. I don't think they'll find him. Unless he goes for a kill here, doesn't have to. So they might as well force up around this AWP. There's not really much reason to eco. You need the rounds here. You've got a Guardian AWP. It's enough to win. Do they do it? Do they take the full eco? I think a tactical timeout may be required just to discuss things. They're going to take the full eco. I would have bought this one, to be honest. You need rounds. See what they can do. Guardian's still going to be dangerous in this round. We know that. And there you go. Headshot. Takes down S-Tag. Not going to be able to recover that rifle, but at least they have something here.
He wants to transition as well back towards CT, not stick it out inside of connector where he first went. So even if there was a death cam bait, he's now got position behind triple. Gotta be so careful there though, because Monty's already jumped across Sandwich and could have caught him falling back. Instead, it'll be flashes and Molotovs to put him off. Oh, Nico, great position. Hard headshot from the backside, still lands it. Drops the bomb for a moment. He's traded out by Monty, but they've got a chance in this now. More so because Guardian still has the AWP and he's watching the gap toward the bomb.
It's all about Guardian. We said this still could be a dangerous round, and Heroic is starting to make mistakes as well, not clearing the bomb sites before going for plants. As Guardian, 36 HP. He actually looked like he's going to win this round, no problem, because Heroic are starting to flail somewhat. They're not making their way out, and Frivo doesn't want to commit. He doesn't know where Guardian is. Knows there's a high chance he's in CT spawn, but he'd be incorrect there. They're actually giving him a chance to reposition. This is so sick from Guardian. The fact he's gone around to jungle here, or window, and he's trying just to completely bamboozle them. They have no idea. This is why he's the master. He's got the bomb now under his vision, and he misses the shots. That might actually make things a little bit more problematic. As he gets Molotov'd out of position, he'll have to fall back to a more defensive angle. But still, Heroic can't find him. That's a hell of a flick. He'll be taken down. There is just a pistol remaining. Guardian hits that shot, doesn't get the frag. There is no justice in this world. He deserved to win that one. They did not force, though. He can buy again. It's going to be match paused, and they're 12-1 down in a must-win map.
12-1. Yeah. I question whether or not FaZe just checks out of this at this point. Because, let's face it, as you said, they've already, face it, there you go. They've already fallen from ECS today against Mouse Sports.
Here's a good one for you. Big are playing Na'Vi, right? Mm-hmm. They're playing Cash, and Kane is standing in for them. So they don't play Cash, ever. They've never played Cash. And they've got their coach playing, and they're playing a map they never play. And they're only 10-5 down.
Still down significantly.
Yes. Kane's in 0-14, to be fair.
Wow.
So
okay.
It's not going great.
Hi, Kane. Zeus, who's Kane's friend, on 3-14.
Yeah, so between them, they've got 3 kills. Well,
unbelievable scenes. Na'Vi, thankfully, has already qualified.
Yes.
So that won't affect much. Big has as well. That game's inconsequential, aside from seeding. But we get back to ours. In fact, I don't even think it matters for seeding because Big can't catch even if they sweep that doubleheader. They'll only finish with 50 points, and Na'Vi already has 53, so... Mertz has Olaf down. That's a decent fight again on the AWP. And look at Freiburg in mid. Rain tries to jump through, tries to get above the smoke. Can't do anything with it. Kerrigan at least pulls one back, but it's only 1 kill so far. Guardian completely flashed off. Can't do anything towards CT. They know he's fired. They know he's got to rebolt the weapon, and he's running just to keep himself alive because that stag's on the back of him. This is just incredible. Heroic is not giving them an inch. They're taking every single bit of map control to the point where Madi is now at B. He's going to push all the way through and catch Guardian just wait. Well, he was going to catch Guardian waiting in spawn. This is 13-1. Forget it. I think we just
pack it up.
Call a stoppage to it. I mean, unbelievable scenes.
Get the ref in. They can't defend themselves any longer.
Exactly.
Well, you are right. It's so difficult to decipher this one. Why is this happening? Why do FaZe look so flat? To be fair, like we said, the traveling factor hasn't come into it. They feel the way I do right now. I'm definitely not ready to play some world-class CS. Just lost in another league as well. Morale's probably not really there. I can't imagine many of them have been dedicated to the death match. They've just got back from a transatlantic trip. But still, those are all excuses, Matt. They still should be beating Heroic quite comfortably, to be honest. As here we go. Nico and Rain at least find a couple of kills, but Guardian's gone down. The player that has been finding frags. As Kerrigan will try and pick the pieces up. This is going to be 14-1, but looks of things. Both CTs out of position. Modi is not slowing down at all. Olafmeister dropped. Matthew, it's 14-1 on the T side of Mirage.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, this is incredible. Like I say, you have to question the mental fortitude now from FaZe. They just got knocked out of ECS. They're down 14-1 on this map. How much bickering is there in TeamSpeak?
Yeah,
How much are they going to say, I think this is already over for us?
At this point, it's like, when it's this bad,
yeah,
the bickering actually stops. You actually just start laughing because it's so bad.
Do you when there's Pro League finals on the line?
It's just one of those things. It's just like, well, we can't win anymore. I might not accept it at this point. But yes, it's definitely not going to be an ideal environment either way. This is a great kill from S-Tag. As there it is. That pretty much is GG. I hate to be ruining the storylines for you all, but that means FaZe Clan will not be making it the Pro League finals. There's no way they're recovering at a 15-0 here. Because remember, even if they get a 15... If they go overtime here, they still don't qualify. Even if they get a 14-1 themselves, it's done.
Yep.
They have to get 15-0 now. Yep. That's the only way they can qualify. Although I guess there's something. FaZe Clan, I guess, if any team was going to do it, maybe you'd have them up there.
Yep. They would be the top 2 teams to do it. Astralis and these guys in terms of like momentum-based.
I did a story the other day when we did that couch thing. Remember we did a blast, you and I?
Right.
My historic memory was coming back from a 14.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
50-0.
The games you
so
made.
I've done it once in my career.
was on
It's the
Nuke, to
only
be fair.
time I've ever seen it happen as well. Yes, it was on Nuke, a very different map. You're right. On Source Nuke as well, which was like a landslide thing. So that was unheard of even in Source. So I'm not sure this will be happening, to be honest. But there you go. Modi, 20 kills. Freiburg, 14. Carrigan, 4. Rain, 5. Those the numbers aren't really working out. Nico did his best. He was the kind of deagle kills he was getting at the start as well. I felt like he was getting warmed up and he was ready for this one. Oh dear.
Yeah, this is, I mean, so many other teams in battles tonight as well to try and make it through.
Well, I just didn't... This is just not the battle we expected. This is supposed to be the hot game of the evening. There's still a chance FaZe can make it. Up against opposition, they should be blowing out the water. We wanted to put a bit of a spectacle on. Witness the sickness of FaZe. But, if anything, Heroic have just made them look distinctly average. Well, it all leads to... Remember, as soon as Heroic get 15 rounds, that's it. FaZe don't make it anymore. There won't be enough points available. You only get 2 points for an overtime victory. They need 3 out of both maps here.
Flash out for Modi. Rather against him, and he peeks but has to back away. They want to play the retake on the A site. They'll give it up. They'll concede it to FaZe, and now group and gathered to try and work back in, but Olaf starts off against Sicilian. Rain. He's still holding. Remember, all the other games going on at the same time. There's a number of combinations, but we do know this. FaZe have to win 15 in a row. You said it, Henry. They're off to a good start on the pistol. Then Freiburg says otherwise. Mertz combines for 1. Still, though, they've got a one-man advantage. Well, halfway through its duration, and it's down to only Mertz. He's found by Kerrigan. Is this the start, Henry?
It could be. Had to be the pistol victory. There should be no reason to force buy for Heroic with Barb. Next round, they don't need to steal this away. But there it is. This beginning of a very long, laboured journey to Pro League finals. 2 of them will buy Deagle armor for Asilian and Freiburg. Just so Asilian's got a PT50, not a Deagle, but still invests a little bit more. I don't know why. It's not like it's going to win them the round. And no one else has done that. Means they won't be able to really get much more than SMD in the next. But it is 3 kills. Freiburg will pay off a bit of his investment.
P250 for Asilian, and it all to do. Founded by Kerrigan immediately. We go 14-3. But now we get in. Well, not quite. They could actually, they've got so much time. I would say we get into the gun rounds if it was a tight game. They could force in, but
they should have
no
done.
need.
Asilian buys up 1,700 worth of kit last round. So did Freiburg.
I mean, they're on 14, right?
Yeah, they should have maybe been a bit more conservative. But yes, that was going to take an eco here. The Eagles again.
Bomb Kerrigan. Don't forget it. It's important. But yeah, they've got to get just pistols to go against. Down bottom mid, Rain. Trying to spot into the underpass. He actually turns it around and looks inside of the site, jumps up, sees one, in fact, back towards CT. So that's a bit of information, and that allows Guardian to slide out and find Mertz, who was the intended target, so that's all. By design, it works out perfectly, in fact, for FaZe. They can start to take over the catwalk instead. Corner covered, but AWP around it means that he's got the range advantage, Guardian, and as we know, he's against pistols. That goes without saying, unless you were to run into a hot-handed Deagle.
Well, it could happen, but it looks like they are safe for now, I would say. It's going to be 14-4. Still possible. The dream is still alive for now. Need to win every single round at this point. Let's see whether this is going to be allowed. Heroic bring out the bigger weaponry next. Freiburg at least actually making this possible. Surely not. This is actually starting to fall apart. Olofmeister should be able to win out the round. Are they defusing? Oh my god, no.
Oh my, is this how they hit? This is it, FaZe is done. This is how you fail from Pro League. That's how you fail. They get on top of it. 10-second defuse, they hit one shot on Olaf, who looked like he had perfect position. That's incredible. That is how FaZe falls. They're done. They can't make it.
You can't make it anymore.
The best they can get tonight now is 5 points. 5 points will not be there. That's not enough. They tie Hellraisers at the best. That's without Hellraisers winning, which, if I'm not mistaken, You just, oh no, they're not, excuse me. They're up against G2, it's 9-8. But still, that's them done.
They're missing smokes for window now, and that's the customer kill by looks of things. They just missed a smoke from window. What is FaZe up to tonight? Have they just given up? Yeah, they have. They're just running around one by one. I don't know what they're up to. It looks like they're absolutely done with this, though. Rain's on the orb. Modi will be in spawn, taking down Nico there. Good shot. This should be GG. Well, it already is GG in one respect. We will not have the FaZe clan at Pro League Finals. Just to be clear, this is a league setup, so it doesn't mean Heroic is going to be there. This is purely...
It does mean that the Grand Slam opportunity is missed.
That's true. That is... Oh, Mertz has got the bomb. Has he seen it? Oh, he's there. Mertz, you see the bomb, bro?
I don't think he has.
He's on his screen, unless he's playing 16...
4x3.
4x3, excuse me.
Still might win this. Still could win this. They're running back. He
over.
just hits both. Okay, I
right.
thought maybe he was going to realize they must have been coming back for the bomb. Either way, it's done. Heroic go 16-3
They lost to an eco in the second round.
over FaZe. And yeah, they lost to an eco on the fuse. That's... all right. Well, with many other games going on and lots of other storylines to follow, Henry, we're going to jump straight into another. It's going to be, as far as I was told, Mouse Sports versus NIP. NIP cannot qualify for the league, but Mouse Sports are still battling for a position. They're 1 point ahead, as it was when we came into these games, ahead of Hellraisers on 37. If they pick up a win against NIP, that would jump them to 40, if they do it in regulation, that is, putting them ahead of G2, who they are playing, or sorry, who is playing against Hellraisers. So there's a three-way battle going on over 2 different games right now for that 7th or 5th spot, depending on how it all goes.
Pretty unbelievable scenes here. We're having a look at the scores come through. You can see G2 playing against Hellraisers there. G2 presumably near the bookend as well, like right down at the bottom. Hellraisers still battling, it seems. Big versus Na'Vi, not that exciting with Na'Vi already going through, and Big qualified as well. Both teams have already made it, right?
Yeah, Big and Na'Vi already in, and they can't swap each other. The positions are locked. The only thing that could have changed is that Na'Vi could have tied Astralis on points, and then head-to-head would determine who's first overall for the year, or for the season. But yeah, pretty much the way it is right now with Kane playing, it's going to be Astralis finish first no matter what, Na'Vi second, and Big third. Because Big should beat Na'Vi. If they don't, there's a chance North could actually catch them. So it's all about seedings, I guess, in that game, if you will.
Yes, you're right. Well, it is going to be Nuke. I'll see if we can jump into the action momentarily.
And just to point out, it's 10-9 when we jump into this in favor of NIP. That's not going to do any favors for Mouse Sports. They're currently on the CT side. However, I think we're just waiting for this round to end, and we'll start off the next one. So 1-2 as far as I can tell.
Well, yeah, we're currently looking at the scoreboard. It's gone 10-10. Chris J and Robs will survive on the CT side. They're a very good team, Mouse Sports. We'll see if they can be the ones to pull this one back. We are into it. So, oh, it's actually...
We're slightly ahead.
Slightly
yeah,
ahead,
scoreboard's
okay.
going to be delayed, so we're into the next round after that. So 10-10, make it now 11-10. Mouse Sports on the CT side should be able to have momentum on this as well. Halftime score, just to give you an idea of NIP, was 8-7 in favor of NIP. And they've won the pistol in this half as well as the second, but then it's been 3 rounds in a row now for Mouse Sports to pull it back and make that a 4th now that we just joined. So that's pretty much pistol and the freebie for NIP so far. That's it on the T side. So that might be a problem. We'll have to see how it transpires now that they have guns again. In fact, they've got 4 AK-47s, 1 UMP, and then they're going against an off and a shotgun. Oscar, shotgun, nuke. That seems right.
Yep, that's his bread and butter, it seems. He is not the AWPer on the CT side. He is the main shotgunner. And actually does a good job of it. He's had some horrible games of it, but he's also had some epic ones as well. As will be Lekro to open up the fragging here against Rops. That's the ramp room. Rops usually plays that alone. In response, Sunny has rotated into that position just to see if they'll commit. And if they'll be dropped as well. There we go. That would be a commitment towards upper. Oscar's still there, main entrance, but this is where the shotgun doesn't really do much work.
Rez, fair play, gets 2. You're right, the shotgun can't rotate. I need to point out something else on this. Ooh, Chris, missed shot. This could go bomb planted, 11-11. I pointed out the fact that Mouse Sports, if they win this, are trying to attempt to get into 5th place within the league or maintain a spot to qualify. The converse side of that is that Heroic has now gotten 3 points from what was 26 to go to 29 points in the league. NIP's on 27th, now sitting in 12th place without winning this. That means they have to play for relegation. So they, as well, need to win to get out of this.
Okay.
They can still make their way back in because they're not automatically relegated, but they go into that tournament system where there's 12th and 13th play, 2 and 3 from Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that's quite a scary prospect, actually, because those teams, you're not used to playing against them. They play a different style. It can all fall apart. We've seen NIP struggle in open qualifiers and minors before against lesser teams. They don't really do that well in that environment. But here's round 23. And a great shot from Chris J. That's Dennis dropped towards the silo. Rez takes his eye off that position, but Forrest certainly doesn't. That's going to be Oscar drop from the main entrance. Again, hovering around that position. As Chris J continues to light them up here with the AWP. Nice work by him and Lekro. As we go back and forth, and not close to be picking this round up. You'd assume it's going to be Mouse Sports at this point. 3-on-1. Rez is playing very well from what we saw in the previous round. But this one should be a little bit out of his reach. He'll hold up with the AWP in towards the ramp room now. As he goes in that position, his best bet is to go towards lower, but not really the ideal weapon to be using in this one, I'm afraid. You can see he can't even really scope because he'll make a click on the sound, and it's not really a very good weapon to use in this sort of scenario.
Do you wonder if at home they have a little dot on their monitor?
What, for the no-scope potential?
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, just so that they have a reference point. At LAN, you're not allowed to do that.
Definitely not.
Rez still sneaky, trying to find some footing. 22 seconds. He may actually just elect to save this. Has the bomb, so there's. If he gets a pick, it's a worthy go. Oh, you heard him. Goes, nails it. That's pretty good. Knows one over towards Squeaky as he looks in that direction, trying to scope in, drops down. He's got the sight, avoided the nade, but I was going to say Chris was sitting and waiting in the corner the whole time. An insult to injury as Mouse Sports take round 12. That'll be a reset for NIP as well.
Avoided the nade.
Got a bit of money.
Not the blade, Matt.
Ooh.
I thought that was yours.
Yeah, no, I'm not as good as I used to be. I peaked too soon.
12-11, as we'll see NIP forced
I think I've fallen to 5th on the rankings now.
Yeah, about 5th?
Yeah, I think that's what the score said.
Okay, fair enough.
So.
Oh, sounds like they've done their research.
That's fine. I would agree with that. In fact, that put me off the top 10 altogether.
Yeah?
Yeah, I told you I'm doing a Jacques Villeneuve. Come in, win the championship, and then just fade away with Honda.
Stunner to take over?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay, well, fair enough. It is going to be 4-on-3, no bomb plant just yet. Chris J probably waits for those flames. They haven't got the bomb down yet, he's on the rush. And Oscar waiting towards the main position, trying to get some damage off, and he'll actually do it as well through the smoke. Takes down Dennis, that's frustrating. And remember, this is going to be 13-11. Rops will find the penultimate kill, and that's surely an eco for NIP now. They've got $2,000 per player, and they might just have to eco and allow it to go 14. Maybe a timeout required at this point. There's so much on the line here. It's a good game to jump into with Mouse Sports on the precipice of the playoffs and NIP trying to get out of relegation. That would make more sense.
That's it, yep.
Still a bit jet lagged.
That's okay.
Went to bed at 8 in the morning. So,
I slept for about 20 hours.
yeah.
I'm doing all right. Rez drops down. They're going for the fast play. They want to get the bomb planted. Problem is there's flames in the middle of it, and Forrest is the one with the bomb. He can't go, so he says, all right, hang on. Clear ramp, lads. I'll go with you. The problem is there's someone on the other side of the smoke. Rop's just waiting. Even if they wanted to clear ramp from below, that would have had a long way. Dennis, wrong time to reload. Sonny with the kill. 14 for Mouse Sports.
Fast-paced gameplay here. One more life for NIP. Not sure. We don't have the maps in front of us to work out if it'll still be fun. If they won in regulation, it would be...
They would get 3 points. They're fine.
They would be cool.
If they win in overtime, they tie with Heroic, so we'll go head to head. The one thing you got to look at, too, is, like, think about NIP, because they're going to be looking at this as well. You know Get Right's all over this. So if he looks and goes, boys, Heroic won, does that change their mentality in this game?
It's updating live. This is cool.
Yeah, so they're in 12th currently. But does NIP know that? Does Get Right say, hey, guys, we got to win, and it changes things? Oh, Dennis gets a crater because Oscar weakens him up so much as he's falling.
I haven't seen that in so long, a crater. That was like the last time was Sunny, remember, Mouse Sports, when he dropped down from upper on
That
nuke.
was the most famous one because it actually lost them the round, arguably. Yeah. There was a crater, I want to say at Blast, but it was inconsequential.
Sure. It was like one of the ones that actually mattered. Like he was rotating down towards lower to defuse the bomb.
Yep.
And
He
dropped
just
dive.
didn't even jump on the hut. He just decided, I'll skip the hut. Nope, you're dead.
Strange times. Sticker rotates through, hasn't quite got the aim to challenge Get right in that position. It's going to leave Robs in a pretty unwinnable situation here. NIP keep themselves alive here on Nuke at least. It's going to be 14-12. That's got overtime prospects written all over it, I would say. So he gets tagged up, and then Crazy, because he jumped off, you don't actually have to jump. I don't think you can just keep running with a knife out and you can make that. But yes, it will be a crater. But it's still, they win the round, so it doesn't really matter.
Imagine
And-
knowing halfway through you get hit in the air. You're like,
well,
no.
that's the end of it. Splat.
Well, it's 2 rounds between them still. NIP giving themselves a fighting chance despite that they lost Dennis to circumstances out of their control to 9.8 meters per second squared. Is that right? 9.8, 9.7? Can't remember. Physics are hard. Either way, Chris J. He is the opera on this map. You touched on it. The fact that Oscar elects to use the shotgun instead means Chris can sit to the stairs. Molotov goes to the vents. Oh, it went behind him. I thought it actually bounced in the vents. I couldn't quite see that above the scope. Nails it. And Oscar's on the case. Detective Oscar.
Well, it looks like we're going to find a match point for Mouse Sports here on the CT side of Nuke. It's a reset round as well. You might not go for this if you're an NIP. Sure, you might be able to win the 5-on-2, but the odds of you doing it are so low, you might as well save the AKs. You got no money next round. You're going to get 1,400 per player. It's not worth going for this, really, unless they could somehow get a plant and then survive. That would be an option. They still have 2 smokes. I guess there is something to be said. Oscar will get towards events, what looks of things. Chris J just needs to watch lower. He seems like, with 5 alive, they should not be any worry with a player on lower. He shouldn't be worried about backstab potential. Oh, Chris, did he spot him? Nope, he didn't. He definitely saw him, but he blended in. I don't think he quite registered it, but it might not matter. As Get Right now, with 15 seconds, has to make so much noise here. Drops down, and he knows there's a player here. But then he's challenging their Robs, but still gets the kill. And it will be 15-12 with just $2,000 on average per player in NIP. We have one anomaly in the form of Forrest with 4K. He'll get an AK armor. That's pretty much all they can do.
One of the 2 Swedish teams will be guaranteed into this relegation position. Fnatic or NIP. That's kind of hard to think. It used to be Swedes were always guaranteed in the top 6.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Both Swedish teams. Again, remember the last major, we had 1 Swede representing the country in the playoffs. Now, we're not going to have any Swedish teams or
Players, for that matter, yep.
playing a Pro League final. That is actually quite significant. You might just think, oh, it's just a one-off, which happens every now and then. This is the major, and now another huge event where we've got no Swedish representation.
Yep, not a single Swede would be at Pro League finals at this point. Oh, can we say that? Is there anyone in North America right now from Sweden? No, there isn't.
Nope.
So the death.
Oh, Cloud9 have Flusher and
true.
Golden,
Yeah,
so
there you
that's
that is true. Okay, but interestingly, the Swedes that make it are from NA now at this point in time. But Cloud9's currently sitting 7th, and there's a chance tonight that they don't make it through.
Okay, so
it
I'll
could
start my
still happen.
stand.
Yeah.
Get that tweet ready if we get it tonight.
That would be unbelievable. That is the home of Counter-Strike. When I
Yes.
came in 2015 and came out of the scene, obviously I'd been around a little bit before that, but that was it. It was Sweden, Sweden, Sweden. It was a huge deal, and now they're just non-existent in the realm. Sticko and Chris to win this out potentially. Bomb planted. Looks like a save to me. Not a ton of money and not a lot of chance. So 15-13 for NIP looking likely. Looking confirmed, I'll even say, Hank. HLTV confirmed.
Yes, that's true. 15-13. NIP with the 1 AK and pistols always seems to be the way. Looking to take us to overtime here. We'll have another go at it here.
Anyone check Chad's Instagram today?
I have not.
What the hell is that? I'll show you.
What's the shotgun for Oscar? M4s, AKs. Could be the final round. We'll have a look. What is happening there? Little dead teddy bear?
I don't know what it is. Good play from Dennis as he catches off Oscar. Wanted to go aggressive with that shotgun. That gives the 1-man advantage to NIP. Looking for overtime at this point, looking for 2 points maximum, which means tying with Heroic on 29 and still one more game for each team to go. Molotov down inside of the radio room. Forrest coming back in from the rooftop. We'll try and aid their attack toward ramp as Dennis swings through. Looks toward the boxes. In fact, flashes around. Thought he might go towards Speedway and allow his teammates to take over ramp. He could then lurk. If he can get Speedway and force rotations, chance he can get to heaven and catch them off going toward the vents. It's not a bad option. Get down there. They just want to take it straight up, and straight up they shall. It's down to Chris and Sonny. Chris on the doors. At least wants to try and get one shot with the op, but Forrest puts him in his place. We've got 30 rounds.
We have. And with no money available on 1, 2, maybe 3 players here, Sonny has to save the AK-47. That's all he really can do. NIP have done it. They've got themselves to round number 30. We'll continue to have a look at the ongoing games here, see what's kicking off as well.
I imagine most have concluded at this point.
So, Mouse Wars NIP as well. We're watching G2 Hellraisers is coming to a head as well on 14-13 in favor of G2 on their first map. X-Space Soldiers are playing against Fnatic. They are up 10-9 against the Swedes. So, they are slowly but surely starting to get the results come through. Round 30 here, though. This is probably going to go to overtime, I'd imagine. Ago lost to Astralis.
That's
So
not
the thing is,
unsurprising.
like, Fnatic
They're within range. If Ego win one game against
Fnatic could
Astralis
be
and
there for the
Fnatic-
instant relegation.
If Ego wins a one game against Astralis, that would happen. And if Fnatic don't pick up a victory.
Yes. So they have to win their next match, Ago, and hope Fnatic don't win, and then they can put them on the relegation. I can't even believe Fnatic are that low. I didn't even realize that was a thing. But to be fair, so NIP, they're down there. As we're going for some wallbang attempts there. I've not seen a kill there before, I'll be honest. And if Mouse win this one, this map, they're 100% in, according to our statisticians back.
That's pretty cool. So they need this round. Chris
Oh,
J.
well,
Oh
it's
my
happening.
goodness, with Oscar, they combine. It could well happen. This could be Mouse Sports in. FaZe are already out. That means Hellraisers are the only ones on the bubble, and Space Soldiers within range of them. There's lots to play for. Mouse have qualified for Odense. They've traveled the road.
They've done it. There we go. Mouse Sports will be our next team locked in. Great stuff, NIP. They weren't in contention for the playoffs whatsoever. They're currently 12th place, actually battling to avoid relegation at this point. This doesn't help them out at all, though, as here's the replay package from the Heroic FaZe game. There's a lot going on tonight, a lot of moving parts.
A lot of scores on the doors.
There are. This was the game we casted before. If you didn't see this one, it was like 16-3. It didn't really matter in the end what the scoreline was. But, Matthew, where do we go from here?
To a break, Hank, because we've got a lot to talk about. The analysts will be back to break it all down.